How you doing, guys? Welcome back to another video, and this is one of a series of two videos where I'm reflecting on my journey as a football shirt collector and sharing some tips and tricks with you. Now, it's worth me pointing out these are my experiences, they're my tips and tricks, and every collector is really different, and that's the beauty and the uniqueness of what we do. But before I share those tips with you, if you haven't already, please guys, give us a subscribe. We love to engage with you guys, love all the comments, and we love sharing this stuff with you. So many thanks if you're already a subscriber and you're watching our videos. We really appreciate it. So tips, we've got 7 tips that hopefully, if you're considering starting a collection or you're already on that journey, will help you navigate your way through the world of shirts. So number one tip is, when you start out, make sure you clearly define the purpose of your collection or your goals. It's very easy to get swept up with all the euphoria of collecting. There's loads and loads of shirts out there, and it's very tempting to grab each one. But make sure you identify what it is that appeals to you, what a collection would mean to you. So, for example, for me, I have a collection of Liverpool shirts going back through all the seasons because I am a Liverpool supporter, and therefore there is meaning in that collection to me. Equally, I do collect match-worn shirts, so I've got a small collection of match-worn shirts, predominantly focused on English leagues here. One other thing you might want to do is focus on clubs of particular leagues. You might focus on nations, so you might only collect international shirts. Or, for example, if you follow club football shirts on YouTube, there's a Dan who is aiming to get to 1,000 unique shirts from across the world. So there are many reasons you can have for collecting. So make sure you define the purpose of your collection, because once you've done that, it makes it easier to cover off the next points. The second point is, set yourself a realistic budget. Football shirts are not cheap. They can be if you're prepared to shop around, but we now live in an age where a typical retail price for a stadium or fan version shirt starts at £70 and goes upwards of £100 if you're looking at a player version. So set a realistic budget, because at the end of the day, this is a hobby. We have competing priorities in life. We have other things to spend our money on. So be very clear up front what you can afford, and therefore marry that up with your purpose and your collection. Also, worth noting that there are lots of opportunities out there to get a bargain, and we'll look at that in a moment. Number 3, be patient. Be patient. Yes, we've all been there. A new kit has been leaked towards the end of a season. It's suddenly released on Adidas or Nike, and we've got to smash in there and we've got to get it. You don't have to. The reality is, at some point over the next 12 months, that football shirt will come down in price, whether that's a Black Friday sale, whether that's a New Year sale, or whether that's an end of season sale, as clubs prepare to offload current season stock. So if you're not in a rush, be patient, because inevitably that will mean you will save money. It will give you more money to feed the pot to buy other shirts. Here's an example. As a Liverpool fan, I know the 3 Liverpool shirts for the current 22-23 season went on sale at £70 a shirt. Now, as I record this, we're in April. You can get many of those shirts for between, I'd say, £35 and £50 online, and in some cases with a name set included. So it does pay to be patient. Of course, there is a downside to that. Sometimes shirts prove really popular, and if you don't get in there quick, you take that risk. So there is a balancing act, but I do believe in the mantra that shirt will always come round again. There will always be an opportunity to buy that shirt, so be patient. Number 4, quality over quantity in most cases is the winner. Why? Because in our search for bargains and hunting down the elusive cheap shirt, inevitably sometimes that translates to poorer quality. Whether it's a shirt that's clearly been worn for many years, or there's signs of fading, or it's marked, or there's blemishes. That's okay. That's okay if that's a shirt that you want to wear out on five-a-side. But if you're a collector and you take pride in the quality of the shirts, it's better to focus on quality over the number in your collection. And that's something I've done more so this year as I try and reduce my collection and focus a bit more on getting quality shirts. Why do I do that? Because I see my collection as an investment. I want to know that if there's a time where I need to sell that collection on, in most cases I'd like to be able to make my money back, if not make more. If I just invested in cheap shirts, I'm never going to do that. Number 4, do your research. It always pays to know what a shirt is worth, especially if you're looking at more vintage shirts. Don't necessarily look at a price you see on an eBay or a Vinted or on an online retailer and think that's a bargain. Do your research. See what other shirts are typically sold for the similar quality or a similar size, and set your benchmark. This ties back to you having a budget and sticking to it. Also, in terms of doing your research, cover all the bases. Check my video out here. We talk about fake shirts. Always look for the authenticity mark. We've shown you that there are labels on most of the major manufacturers that clearly identify whether a shirt is fake or authentic. Don't be shy if you're on secondhand or thrift channels to ask the question. A reputable seller who knows their shirts should always include a photo. If they don't, doesn't always mean suspicious circumstances, but ask the question, ask to see the label, do your research, and that gives you the confidence. Number 6, connecting with a huge community. I've met so many wonderful people through shirt collecting, whether it's through Instagram, YouTube or Twitter. So make the most of it. The community is a wealth of knowledge, whether that's helping you identify authentic shirts or whether it's people helping you source that elusive shirt. Hobbies, collecting, it's a fun activity, which takes us through to my last point, number 7. Have fun, guys. Football shirt hunting should not be a drain. It should not be a laborious task. It should be fun. It should give us a buzz, because that buzz for the next shirt is something that lives with us. So there you go, guys. There's some tips and tricks to how you can build a successful football collection. Next video, we're going to be talking about some of the mistakes I've made on my journey. And boy, can I tell you, I've made a few. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll be back with another video really soon.